Tensions between the United States and Iran have reached a whole new high as a second round of nuclear talks concluded in Geneva. The indirect discussions mediated by Oman coming as the two sides strategically posture diplomacy on one side but also flexing military might on the other. And while the meeting was underway, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei responded to America's pressure with a sharp warning, threatening to sink American warships. He reminded Washington that the U.S. has failed to eliminate the Islamic Republic for 47 years and will not succeed now.
We constantly hear them saying that they, the United States, have sent a warship towards Iran. A warship is certainly a dangerous weapon, but even more dangerous is the weapon capable of sinking this warship to the bottom of the sea.
And Iran, on the other hand, has fired missiles into the Strait of Hormuz and moved to partially close the strategic waterway for further military drills. Iran's foreign minister has said that the discussions showed good developments compared to the last round and confirmed that both sides have reached an understanding on the main principles. However, he cautioned that this does not mean an agreement is imminent. And all of this unfolding after U.S. President Donald Trump also warned Iran of consequences if it fails to reach a deal. Listen to this now.
I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. It's been typically, Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential, and we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. They want to make a deal.
Now, despite Trump's comments on Iran seeking an agreement, there is a major potential stumbling block. In fact, several. Washington has demanded that Tehran forego uranium enrichment on its soil and has sought to expand the scope of the talks to non-nuclear issues, such as Iran's missile stockpile and the recent crackdown on protesters. A protest was held against Khamenei outside the United Nations building in Geneva amid the talks between the two sides. However, Iran has made its position clear. It will not limit enrichment unless Western sanctions that have severely strained its economy are rolled back. While the shots at diplomacy continue, Washington has moved naval and air armada into the region. The US's Abraham Lincoln carrier strike group is already in the northern Arabian Sea, comprising destroyers, frigates, warplanes, helicopters. A second aircraft carrier is heading to the region with its own strike group, doubling the U.S. air and naval capabilities in West Asia. Additional assets are deployed across strategic locations in the Red Sea, Persian Gulf, near the Strait of Hormuz. The buildup is further supported by air assets from the UK, dozens of cargo flights moving equipment to Jordan, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. In fact, military posturing and further escalation resonating deeply in Tehran. A couple of days back, Iran foreign minister, revealed that unexploded bombs are still present at Iranian nuclear facilities struck by the U.S. last year. And all of this coming under the shadow of last June's 12-day conflict. Israel, with U.S. support, launched a swift and deadly assault on Iran, targeting military and nuclear sites, civilian facilities, and carrying out assassinations of commanders and scientists. Iran, remember, retaliated with missile and drone strikes on Israeli military and intelligence targets. During that conflict, the U.S. bombed 3 nuclear sites before a ceasefire was announced. The Russia-Ukraine war nearing its 4th year. The war on the ground is only becoming fiercer. Meanwhile, Russia has carried out a massive air attack on Ukraine. This comes as delegates of both countries began their meeting in Geneva. U.S. President Donald Trump has told Kiev to quickly agree to a deal. And Germany now says that it has no weapons to give to Ukraine. Our next report telling you more.
Drones swarm the skies, missiles tear through darkness, barrages pound hours before talk. Escalation grips the battlefield. Russia has unleashed one of its biggest aerial attacks. "400 drones, 29 missiles rained down on Ukraine, and it came just hours before peace talks in Geneva." The constant bombardment shredding power grids and infrastructure across Kharkiv, Odessa, Zaporizhia and other regions. Each new attack tests Ukraine's depleted air defense grid, forcing it to expand interceptors, which are hardly being replenished. All this comes at a time when Russian and Ukrainian negotiators are meeting in Geneva for fresh US-brokered talks. Battered and bruised by the grinding war, Ukrainians have little hopes that the talks would end their ordeal.
There have been so many of these meetings, so much talk about a ceasefire. Belief as such is not very strong, but people are already exhausted. They should be at least given a little rest.
One shouldn't trust the Russians absolutely, not even a little. I really want to believe that something will change after the meeting, but I don't really hope on it.
But political pressure is mounting. Trump's message is blunt. Ukraine must negotiate quickly.
Ukraine better come to the table fast. That's all I'm telling you. We are in a position, we want them to come.
At the same time, Germany has signaled that its weapons stockpiles are largely exhausted. Berlin says there are few systems left to send without undermining its own readiness. Across Europe, fatigue is visible. Supplies are finite. Production lines are stretched. Geneva offers a solution. The battlefield offers leverage. For now, both tracks move in parallel. Talks begin under the shadow of a brutal war, and the question remains, can diplomacy outrun the drones and missiles? Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
In a powerful display of maritime strength and global outreach, Visakhapatnam is preparing to host multiple naval gatherings in the region, the International Fleet Review and Exercise, starting today until the 25th of February. The Indian Navy is basically bringing together naval forces from over 70 countries, including major powers like the United States and Russia. More than 60 warships, multiple naval aircraft will be participating, making this one of the largest coordinated maritime events. According to the Indian Navy, in fact, naval ships from Thailand, Australia, Sri Lanka have already arrived in Visakhapatnam for the exercise. For the first time, in fact, countries like Germany, the Philippines, UAE are also reportedly joining the fleet review, underscoring India's expanding maritime partnerships. Since 2001, India has used fleet reviews to bring together navies from across the world to strengthen interoperability and maritime domain awareness. This year itself, the Eastern Seaboard becomes the center of global maritime engagement. All eyes will be on India's indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, which will reportedly serve as the showpiece of the fleet review. Earlier today itself, the Indian Navy also inaugurated the Milan village at the Eastern Naval Command, marking the start of a broader sequence of engagements and joint drills at Visakhapatnam. The harbour and sea phases of the exercises will focus on anti-submarine warfare, air defence, search and rescue, cooperative security operations. While with these events, India is not just hosting ships, it is also asserting its key role as a crucial security partner in the Indo-Pacific and global maritime. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.